Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Tooba Mirza, and thank you very much for joining us and taking out time to attend the event. So today we are here to celebrate the success of our mentee, Fareed Kamran. He passed his PgMP exam, Alhamdulillah, and mashallah with above target in the first week of May. So he is here to share his journey, his experiences, his learning with you uh, for this next 1 hour. But before that, we are going to introduce ourselves, and then Farisa is going to make the introduction, and then we will formally get started with the agenda of the session. In the meantime, if you have got any questions or queries or inquiries or anything that you would like to ask about the PgMP exam format or anything, just feel free to drop your questions in the comment area. In the last 10 to 15 minutes of the session, we will dedicate the session solely to your questions. So first of all, about myself and about the training institute, Ontime Training and Consultancy Services that I represent. Ontime Training and Consultancy Services, that we also term as OTTC, is a professional training and consultancy setup. We are the promoters and followers of PMI and P3GQA mindset, and we are mainly in the project program and portfolio management and governance domain and everything related to that. So we offer a variety of courses, particularly in the capacity of PMI credentials like PMP, PgMP, PFMP, RMP, PBA, ACP, SP, etc. We are also in the project program and portfolio governance domain. Last year, OTTC got certified and accredited with the P3GQA organization, which is the project program and portfolio governance quality authority. And we also help people in understanding the P3G subject matter as well. Other than that, we offer the PMO consultancy, PMO setup, consultancy in a variety of other ways with respect to project and program management practices. And we offer the individual consultancy as well, like interview preparation and career counseling and getting people ready for the project and program management role. So if you need any such help, you can always contact us. I'm going to share the communication channels of OTTC in the comment box. About myself, I am Tooba Mirza, based in Pakistan. I am the founder, owner, and lead trainer and consultant at the Ontime Training and Consultancy Services. I have a career of around 18 years now. For the past 2 years, I am solely working in my own agency as a lead trainer and consultant. And in total, I have a professional experience of around 18 years, where I have worked in a variety of organizations in the project program and portfolio management capacity. And on the certification ground, I'm triple P certified, which means that I'm PMP, PgMP, and PMP certified. And I'm the professional trainer for these three certifications as well. Other than that, I am RMP certified, PSM certified. I have some HR certifications as well. And I am certified trainer for PMP, CAPM, and P3GQA certifications. So this is a brief about myself, and I will, of course, not I will not bore you guys with more about me. So let's move to Farisa. Farisa, assalamu alaikum, and thank you very much for taking out time from your busy schedule. I know you are a very, very busy person. So I'm very grateful, first of all, and please make a brief introduction about yourself, and then we will proceed with the conversation.
Thank you very much, Tooba. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So I will give a brief introduction. Like, my name is Fareed Kamran. So currently I am working as a Vice President Professional Services here at Systems Limited from last 5 years. So overall, it's a 20+ years experience in the field of software development, quality assurance, business analysis, project and program management. I am PgMP certified recently, Alhamdulillah. Before that, PMP. Other than this, I have certifications from the AWS and from the Azure. Then I have certification from Scrum Alliance, that is Certified Scrum Master and Certified Scrum Product Owner. I am also a certified tester from the International Software Testing Qualification Board. and I am a certified quality professional from the PIQC, Pakistan Institute of Quality Control. So this is a very brief introduction about myself. Yes, please, Subha.
Yeah, so many credentials, Faisal. I'm very much impressed. Yeah. So Farisa, of course, people would like to know your motivation to go for PgMP, especially people from Pakistan, because ironically, Pakistan is way behind in all these standardizations and global credentials and all. So, how would you motivate the people of Pakistan about these credentials, and why did you go for it yourself?
Well, about myself, definitely the career advancement and professional development was the core objective, and the role in which I am right now working that require these kind of certification and knowledge areas. So it is definitely for my organization benefit as well, my own career goals, and it's a step by step. Like first we do the PMP, then we go for the PGMP, then we go for the PFMP. So that is another the objective. Like I did PMP about 4 years back, then now PGMP now, and the next step, inshallah, I'm planning for the PFMP as well. So that is the main goal behind this certification, and definitely like this kind of these certifications are helpful in your professional work in your organization. And this program is specially defined like with the related projects, subsidiary programs, and program activities managed like in a coordinated manner, like to obtain benefits which are actually not available by managing them individually. So here at System Limited, like we have number of interrelated projects, and we have number of project, like we have a project manager mindset. So my objective is to convert this project management mindset to the program management mindset to achieve the maximum benefits.
Wonderful. So you have been applying that those concepts in the role that you were at, and you are now in a better position to apply that in your current role and maybe in the future as well as you proceed forward. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Great. And yes, this has been observed very commonly and very often, not only in Pakistan, but it's everywhere, that people just in general think that everything is a project. And even when they are in program management, and at times when they are in project portfolio management, when they are actually working in portfolios, and they just call it advanced project management, or like just commonly project management, because this is all that they know. And this is exactly where the awareness and the knowledge comes into picture, that you need to know actually more, and you need to know the right terminologies and the right mindset, right, to make your work better and to improve yourself. Okay, so Parisa, when you were doing your journey and you were learning the program management mindset in the PMI way, of course, you had your PMP before that, and usually people go this way. They cross the ladder this way: that first PMP, then PGMP, then maybe at times ACP, at times directly to RMP, or at times to portfolio management. So they often ask me that, but why can't we directly go for PGMP? And I think there are a couple of people in the audience already who want to go this way, that they want to directly go to PgMP because they think that they are ready for that role, and they already have been working the project management domain for many years, and they don't think that the PMP is going to benefit them, and they just want to directly jump to PgMP, which PMI allows, by the way. Just in case you guys are not aware, it's not a hard and fast requirement that you need to have an active PMP to go for PgMP. You can go for PgMP if you have at least 4 years of project management experience in your profile. But PMP knowledge can be very helpful, and I would like to talk about that. And I would like ideally Parisa to talk about that how PMP help you in your PgMP.
Yeah, I would say having a strong understanding of project management, its concepts, processes, and best practices is a very useful for the PGMP. Like the basic understanding of the project management you learn from the PMP certifications, right? So there are a number of artifacts and activities which have the same name in the project management and in the program management, but their depth level is different. Like I would say, we create a business case in the project management as well, and we create the business case in the program management. Same for the charter, from the roadmap, like the scope management plan, and there are number of other plans, stakeholder register, the work based structures. So I would say, if you will have a good understanding of these terminology, these artifacts, these activities at the project management level, then it will be easy for you to go for the PgMP exam. So we have a one project life cycle in the project itself, whereas we have a same type of life cycle in the program management as well. So I would say the PMP knowledge is a valuable asset for the candidate who are pursuing for the PgMP. And I would highly recommend, like, if they don't have the PMP certification, but they must have the good project management experience, so that the things in the program management should not be very new for them as well. So, but that project management experience should be aligned with the PMI best practices. Like one thing is which I am doing, one thing is which PMI recommends. So definitely we should follow the best recommendations which are given by the PMI, apply to our work. That will be more helpful. So I would say PMP is a good one, but if you don't have the PMP but should have a good knowledge and experience of the project management for the PGMP certification.
I agree. And you actually have covered a couple of very useful points. So yes, it's more about, of course, when it comes to program management, the experience is pretty much needed. You can't do program management with theory only or with concepts only, right? And that the same can be applied to project management. However, every standard has their particular jargons, has their particular mindset, particular connectivity of things and concepts. And this is exactly where your knowledge of PMP can be helpful in a PgMP, because that's very much related to what we cover in the program as well. But that doesn't imply that if you don't have PMP, you can't go for PgMP. You still can go for PgMP. And I have many, I would not say many, but I have a number of students who did it this way, and they are currently doing it this way as well. Then they don't have active PMP, or they just never tried going for PMP, but they are doing their PgMP, and they were like equally succeeded in that. And this is pretty much doable. So this is more of learning. In maybe in case of going PgMP without PMP, it can be a little more effort, to first understand the project management mindset the PMI way, and then understanding the program management mindset the PMI way. But this is pretty much doable, right? Okay, Fareed. So the next frequently asked question by those candidates and those aspirants who are actively pursuing for their exam, actively in the sense that they are either already booked for the exam or they are going to book the exam in the coming weeks or months. So they want to know from those people who have recently done that how did you prepare? Like, what was your study plan? What was your study schedule? How many hours in a day, in a week, in total? Or how did you do that? Like with respect to the schedule?
Yeah, it was total 3 months journey from day one to the exam day. So the first month I completely understand the recordings given by you, and then with those recordings I attempted the chapter wise mock exam. So it took almost 1 month. Then I spent 15 days, almost 2 weeks, for the standard reading. Like I read the standard all chapters, and then I build a very good understanding of the ECOs. Like some people try to memorize ECOs, but I would say understand those ECOs. Like definitely you cannot memorize all those points. So I just try to understand those ECOs. Then I spent almost 1 month on the mock exams provided by you. Like there are almost 1,300 questions in those mock exam. So 1 month for the mock exam, I would say I repeated 3 times. Was 2 times the full all mock exam, whereas the third round was only the levels which were recommended by you. That was a level, I think, 2 and 4, like that. Then the last week, just before the exam, it was a complete revision week where I revised those mocks, the standard, the ECOs, and the points which I noted myself. Like there were some my own notes. So I just revised all those things. And Alhamdulillah, after it was a 2.5 months, my exam was there. So I took 2 weeks off, by the way, from my office, where I spent more time for the preparation. That was dedicated 2 weeks as well in these 3 months. So normally, I was giving almost 2 days every day for the preparation, and over the weekends, I was giving almost like 3 to 4 days on Saturday, and 3 to 4 hours Saturday, 3 to 4 hours on Sunday. So that is the overall my preparation journey for the PgMP.
Thank you so much, Fareed. And for those who are actively preparing and they are my students currently, or they are going to be my students in the future. For your information, Fareed is one of those rare participants of this exam preparation who did the whole curriculum and the provided material very full-fledgedly. So he repeated, I think, my provided material 3 times, which is not usually the case. Hardly people take up time to do it once completely, because everybody is busy who usually go for PgMP or the other credentials like PFMP and PMP, etc. So, he is the one who read the book as well, who read everything that has been provided to him, and very carefully and very, by absorbing that, not only covering that. So, in case you want to follow his study schedule or the way he did that, you probably should be contacting him separately. He can be very helpful in that regard. And he was one of those people who wanted to secure 80-90% in the mock exams before going to the exam. And he actually did that as well, which again is pretty rare, because usually people score 60-65%, 60-70%. And even with that score, they go to the exam and they pass that with above target. So he did that in a very commendable manner. I would say that. Okay. So Fareed sir, when you went to the exam room on the exam day, of course, no matter how much we prepare or how well we are ready for the exam room experience is always something which is unique, right? We can't exactly create that as a mentor. So would you like to share some experiences or something to care about or something to keep in mind while sitting for the exam, especially for those who are going for that exam, the PMI exam, the very first time? Anything that you would like to share, but of course not the real exam questions, because that's not the conversation.
Yeah. Here, I would like to highlight the most interesting thing, that this was my first professional certification exam where I was quite confident while clicking the finish button. Alhamdulillah. And this was primarily with your help. So I was expecting that it will be harder than PMP, but I believe with the material, with the guidance I got from my mentor, it feels like it easier than PMP certification. Like I believe, right? So actually, when I start, it's a 4 hours exam, And in 4 exam, we need to complete 170 questions. So you have very limited time for every question, maybe 70 or 75, 80 seconds per question. But definitely we cannot spend the whole time for only attempting those 170 questions. So when you start your exam, the first 2 hours are very critical. Like you have good stamina at the start time. So I try to attempt maximum question in first 2 hours. And Alhamdulillah, I would say in first 2 hours, I attempted almost 120 or 30 questions. Like 120 minutes, and I attempted almost 120, 125 questions in my first 2 hours. Whereas the remaining 50 questions, 45 questions, I completed in next 1 hour. So ideally, my 170 questions were completed in 3 hours. Then there were only 15 flagged questions. So which I again took about 20 or 25 minutes to complete those 15 flagged questions. And I submitted my paper exam almost 35 minutes before the actual end time. So this is how I manage. I try to flag minimum questions. Like if you would flag the maximum question, then at the end you are going to give the same exam another time. So try to flag only those questions which are actually required to be flagged. So like 15, 20, 25 questions are enough to be flagged. Like if you will flag maybe 60, 70 questions, then you will definitely require more time. So this was my exam overall experience. And Tuba, you can add something over here as well.
Yeah, just in case you are wondering that what do we mean by flag questions? So flag question, I mean, those questions that you want to come back to for review, or for later review, or for reconsideration, and in the first attempt you just just want to attempt it, so that if later on time permits, you want to check that again, and if not, then you can just submit that with whatever you have attempted in the first attempt. By the way, a couple of things that I would like to add here with respect to the exam itself, when you are taking that in the room, you need to be pretty much, of course, that can't be 100% practice, but with your good preparation and with your overall confidence with respect to your knowledge and everything that you have done throughout the journey, you need to stay calm and composed, because if you are like continuously nervous, and if you feel that everything is going bad and you are going to fail it, which pretty much is going to be there, that vibe is going to be there, because that's like just very common. That happens with everyone. That happens with me as well, by the way. When I am writing an exam, I feel the same way, that probably I'm going to fail it when I'm writing it. But you need to be like positive. And I know that this is easy to say and hard to do, but this is exactly where your positivity, your decision making, your leadership traits come into picture, which PMI also tests during the exam. They don't only test your technical knowledge about the program management. They check your decision making, they check your conflict management, they check your time management, they check your emotional intelligence, they check how calm and composed you are, if you can get easily freaked out. For instance, if 3 or 4 long questions come in a row, can you get freaked out? Yes or no? They are going to check that by putting you in that situation. And you need to be ready for that. You need to be pretty much prepared for that. And that's only possible when you spend time during that journey. Right. One other thing that I would like to say about the exam is try to be on time. Whatever appointment time PMI has given to you, of course, you have picked that as per your own convenience. Try to be there on time or before time, and try to be try to take everything which is necessary. At times, even after reminding multiple times, 1 to 2 students did it this way, that they forgot to take their national identity card with them, which is pretty much of a negligence and should not be happening. It's not expected from the professionals at that level. So try to be ready from every aspect. You should be knowing all of these. These minor details should be known to you. Otherwise, that will or may impact negatively to your exam. Right? And one other thing is that pretty much should be known to you is during these 4 hours exam, 170 questions, as rightly said by Fareed, there is no scheduled break. By scheduled break is that no break offered by PMI during the exam. Timer is continuously ticking. So they check your nerves as well, because no person, no matter how strong or confident he is, they are just going to get tired. They are just going to get burned out in the 3rd or 4th hour. So you need to be mentally prepared for that, and that's only possible when you are you have put yourself in that situation while practicing the mock tests. So all of that implies that you should be investing time in your preparation journey. You should be knowing that ahead of time, and this is exactly where we are helping people via these webinars, so that they get to know everything that they should be knowing before going to the exam. But if you want to take a break, you can take that, but timer is ticking. Right? With the alignment of your invigilator, you can go out, you can have water, you can have something to eat, or you can just keep sitting on the chair, but you don't leave anywhere. But timer is ticking. You can't stop the exam. Okay, so moving forward, so let's speak about the journey itself. So those who are comparatively new to the PgMP credential, for your information, the credential itself is comprised of 2 levels. One is the application that PMI asks you to submit to check and verify your eligibility for that credential. And followed by that, you need to sit in the exam within that 1 year of eligibility. Eligibility criteria says that you need to have minimum 4 years of professional education with your bachelor's, master's, or higher education than that. Along with that, minimum 4 years of program management experience and minimum 4 years of project management experience, which can be alternated with the active PMP credential. Right? It's either of them, either 4 years of project management or active PMP. So you need to write that in a properly established format by PMI in the form of an application. You need to submit that. Once that passes the first and the second approval of application, which pretty much is a big deal, then you are eligible to sit in the exam. It is not that easy that, okay, anybody can go and book the exam, pay the fee, and sit in the exam. So let's first talk about the application, and then talk about the exam material that we have provided you for the preparation. So Fareed, how was your application creation as well as the both approval process for you?
Yeah, I will start from the basic step. Like initially, I submitted my 4 program details to Tooba, which were carefully reviewed by her, and she suggests me a program that we should target for the PgMP application. So we selected that program with her guidance, and then she provided me a template for the application, where I provided more details about the program which we selected in previous steps. And then those details were again carefully reviewed by Ma'am Tooba, and she recommends me some updates. So I made those updates in the application. So it was very simple. Then we submitted an application, and we submitted today. And the first round of approval was done very next day. Like I would say, it take 1 day in the first round of approval. Then I made the payment. As soon as I made the payment, my application entered into the next review cycle, that is basically panel review. So the panel review normally it can take up to 60 days, but Alhamdulillah, the kind of consultancy I have been provided by Ma'am Tooba, my application panel review was completed in 5 to 6 working days. So it was hardly to total time period 8 working days from the first application submission till the panel review approval. So in 8 total working days, my application was accepted. So I would like to highlight, like, we should, like, while submitting the program management application, we should point the program management points, not the project management point, because we are submitting the program management application, not the project management. So we should talk about the benefits from that program. We should talk about the strategic objective from that program. Your governance role in that program. So actually, we need to prove that we are actually performing the program manager role, and what exactly the value we are getting from that program. So, like, if we will design our application from the project management perspective, I'm sure we will not have any trouble in our application approval step.
Yes, very well said. And at times people take the application process lightly, and that results in the rejection either at the first level or at the actually first level is comparatively easier than the panel approval. Panel approval actually is tough, and we're a panel of very elite class professionals. It can be anyone around the globe. They sit and they read the application. I would say literally word by word, line by line, whatever you have written in the domain experience summaries. People think that they can paste anything from here, there, and it's going to get approved. That may happen in the case of PMP application, but no, never in the case of PgMP and PgMP application. So you need to be like very careful while writing that, and it's recommended that at least for the application you get the right help and expert support. Maybe the exam prep you can do by yourself with the right material, but it's seen that most of the people, I would say, because I write applications very often, very often, and I can tell with my experience that people make very common mistakes, like writing it the project management way, copy pasting it from the standard and from the internet, from the websites. No, this is going to not going to work, definitely, right? So there is a particular way PMI want it to be written. They expect a particular kind of mindset in there, which is the same mindset which you are learning in the standard or in this overall chart. Anyways, moving forward, of course, this is the common question. I believe a couple of questions are there in the comment box, and I know many questions would be coming about the exact exam prep material that you have used, the mocks, the slides, the videos, the training, or whatsoever. So how would you rate the quality of the material that have been provided to you with respect to the exam? Because Fareed, my USP or the way I sell out my services is not only to get people certified. I want them to be better person and professional in their life and in their career. And this is exactly we are working towards. So the ultimate goal is not to have that certificate or piece of paper in hand. The ultimate goal is to make you a quality person and professional. So with respect to that, whatever services you have procured from us, how would you rate that? Maybe on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being highest and 1 being lowest. And anything that you would like to add in that part.
Yeah, first let me give you the rate.
Sure.
It's 5 out of 5, right?
Oh, thank you.
Yes, because previously I had gone through PMP, AWS, Azure, ISTQB, and PAQC learning certifications, a lot of the material from the internet, so many mentors. But honestly speaking, the way I have been mentored, guided by you, seriously, it is above than all my previous experiences. Like uh, from day one until exam day, like Tuba was connected with me, and I was very like she was sending me message, what is update, what is left, what is completed. So because of her pressure, I was supposed to study something. So, uh, but whenever I seek her help through WhatsApp, through phone calls, so she responded me instantly. Uh, like it's a late night, even 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I don't know when she sleep, but I got response like instantly. And about the preparation material, I would say. I'm telling you today, by the way, Tuba, I try to go away from the material to study something from the internet 2 times. And I both time I got confused. And even one time I consulted you as well that one of the other mentor is saying like this, and you strictly asked me that don't study anything else other than the provided materials. So I just then focused on the material that was provided by me by Tuba, and those recordings, the slide decks, and the chapter wise mock exams, and the full length exams, like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, like everything is very well targeted for your program management learnings and for your final exam. Like I would not say the purpose of this material is only to just pass the paper, but the purpose of the material that is provided to me is also learn program management things. Like when I watch the videos provided by Toba or the mock exam, uh, honestly speaking, I see those problems in my day-to-day activities, which I am facing here at my employer system limited. So I directly relate those things into my work. So I would suggest if anyone just gone through the material, only material that is provided by her, and he or she understand that material very well, he or she can easily become a PgMP certified. There is no need to search things from the. Even I downloaded some the simulator application, simulator apps as well on my mobile. But again, I was confused and just I uninstalled those applications apps. So I just then rely on the material that is provided by Ma'am Tuba, and Alhamdulillah. While attempting the exam with the provided mock exam by Tuba, I was quite confident about the answers. So highly recommended.
Thank you so much, Fareed. And so I just want to add one point just to clarify the aspect that Fareed mentioned that at times what happens is uh, of course there is a plenty of material available over internet. Some of that material will be freely available as well, and at times like that instinct comes to you that, oh, this is free, there's no harm in try it, let's try it. But that can negatively impact your concepts or your overall preparation or wherever, whichever point you are currently standing with respect to the preparation. So you need to be very careful with respect to what you are learning, what you are studying. For instance, there's a very popular consultant and trainer with the name of Tivu, right? I am a pretty big fan of him. Of course, he's one of the competitor, but I don't consider him as a competitor because when you are in a professional world, you are here to learn. You are here to continuously improve yourself, and I consider him pretty good. So, for instance, if you go to his material, if you go to his YouTube channels, if you go to his exam or any content provided by him, I probably would not say no to that. And similarly, there is another person with the name Parasad. He is very good. He's very, very good. He's from India, and I think that he is way above me with respect to everything. So I would never say no, but do not go for every other material. And in case you are preparing, maybe consult with me that even if this material is free and I want to just go for it, or I want to try it, is it worth it or not? Because of course we are sitting in this market and we know everything which is offered by our competitors or different other mentors in the market, and we most likely are aware of the quality of that material, most likely, of course. So out of the competitorship or so, I am not going to say no to every other material, right? Because this is not going to be this is going to be very biased attitude, which shouldn't be the case for a person who is not insecure of anyone else, right? So just be careful about what you are going for. Of course, whatever I am providing, I'm pretty much confident about that. But whatever like other material you want to go for, maybe just vet that with me, and then you go for that. Okay, so just in the interest of time, Farisa, a couple of more questions, and then we will proceed towards the question answers by the audience. So people at times want to, they have like some comparatives available that what if this and not this, and what I do this and not this, or what if I invest in this one, which is pretty cheaper than the other certification or the exam. And of course, PgMP is a good investment in terms of money as well, and in terms of time as well. So people at times want to know the payback, the ROI, the return, and the form of returns as well. And everyone has different perspective towards that. So I would like you to shed some light on that aspect. That how do you measure the return with from this investment?
Well, for this PgMP certification, I was not targeting any salary raise or the bonus, or maybe there's some promotion in my current role. So the first target was to just attain some knowledge and this certification, right? So it is not necessary that you always look for some tangible and cashable benefits. Like the people who are studying this PgMP, they must be aware about the tangible, non-tangible, cashable, non-cashable benefits. So I would say we should not always target for the tangible and cashable benefits. Like we should try to become a better and better, and definitely if we become more better, and there will be best return on investment. Well, if you become a better knowledgeable person, the practitioner, the good advisor, then these promotions, these financials will follow you automatically. Like you will not ask to your manager or your company that give me bonus, I did this, I did certifications. So your knowledge, your experience, your skills, your advice to the other members will automatically brings these things towards you. So I noticed that the day I become PgM certified, I have been treated differently in my professional circle, in my organization as well. Then definitely once we got PgMP, we got recognitions at the international level as well, be more effective as well. And even the resources, the people who are inherited from the system limited, like now, this is going to be a main KPI for every resource. From a recognized institute, we must have one certifications. So I would say go for the knowledge, go for the experience first, and then think about the tangible or cashable benefits as a return on that investment. So
Yes.
for me, the knowledge is superior than any cashable benefit.
Yes, and I just wish that everybody start thinking it this way. Uh, See, there is no harm in thinking about the financial or monetary benefits. Of course, that's also the need. However, if one is only after that and they are not really after the continuous growth and improvement and becoming a better person and professional with the span of time, and you're not really working with a growth mindset towards your own self and towards your team and towards your organization, or where whichever span you are working in, then probably there is a problem in your thinking, in your mindset. And this is exactly where that superficial mindset of getting 10% raise in salary or 15% raise in salary or this bonus or this benefit, uh, like if you only are after these things and nothing else, then probably you should reconsider your vision towards your own self and towards your people. Maybe you are not in the right direction. I would only want to say this. And of course, we cannot change people mindset this way, like in just 1 hour of time. This requires huge effort. This requires a lot of time. This doesn't happen overnight. But start thinking it this way if you are not already into this kind of thought process so far. Uh, okay, the last thing, and then we will proceed to the question answers by the participant. Any final word of advice to the participants or to whoever is listening to this session?
Yeah, uh, I have written on some points.
Sure.
No, you need to invest upon yourself, right? We are working in different organizations. We are giving our daily 8, 9, 10, 11 hours to the company. But you should be, you should care about your career as well. And for this, you need to invest on yourself through these certifications, through different learning materials. So you should always look for the continuous improvement. Like I see there are a number of gurus on the quality side, Kaizen model has said, we should always look for the continuous improvement. And we should plan for the next 4 or 5 years and maybe divide those 4 or 5 years in the maybe quarter wise or year wise further sub targets. So plan for the next 4 or 5 years, and you must go for the PgMP because this will bring you out from the project management mindset to the program management approach, right? And for the exam perspective, like we're targeting exam, I would say while attempting the mock exam, it is normally our practice that I attempted, let's suppose, 100 questions, and there were maybe 20 incorrect questions. So we normally go for the clarification of those only 20 incorrect questions. But I recommend on my own experience that you should also read the clarification of questions which you have answered correctly, because maybe you answered that question, it's a correct answer, but maybe the other person is thinking in some different style. So you should also read the clarification against the correct answers as well, and be focused on be more focused on mock exam. Like it is good to study standard, but I would highly recommend spend more time on the mock exam. Like uh, if anything is wrong, go to the mock standard as well, and again study like what exactly the standard is saying. But attempt more and more mock exams. And one thing I always recommend to my team members as well, you should make the payment and book the exam. If you will not do this, you will say like you will think, okay, I will do this. And like doing this, maybe months, years will pass. So book the exam, make the payment, and then go for that. Don't delay this. If you will delay this, definitely like you will become more older and it will be harder for you to learn new things. So
Correct.
I highly recommend don't delay this PgMP certifications and don't miss anything. Like the another part is like when we are in some trouble and God forbid we failed, we should not have a point that, oh God, if I have this kind of knowledge, if apply that knowledge, I was able to avoid this failure. So just to avoid that failure, you must learn these new things, new technologies, new tools, new best practices. So I would say always continuously make improvement into your career, in your profile.
Very, very good pointers to ponder upon. And thank you very much, Fareed, for your time and for coming up with these suggestions to the people who may get benefited. I would say they can get a lot benefited with this, with your experience and with your learnings. Okay, so now in the interest of time, let's move to the question answers. And just in case you have not placed your query or question in the comment box, just feel free to raise your hand, unmute, and ask your question over here. Just in case, let me first cover the questions which are already there on the comment box, and then after that, if there is any other question remaining, we can take that directly. So a couple of queries from Usman. I'm going to read that one by one, and maybe Fareed, you or I, either one can answer. So is it necessary to read the book? By book, he must be referring the standard. If yes, then how many times and how can one gauge that he or she is prepared to take on the exam? Okay, Fareed, this is for you.
Yeah, there is a step-by-step guide, even the material provided by the so I myself read the standard only once, but I more focused on the life cycle chapter and some sporting activities. Like the 40% is that life cycle of the total exam. So I personally read in detail one time mock exam, the standard, that is a book. Then I definitely consulted that standard again and again when my answers were incorrect in the mock exam, just to see why my answer is wrong. So I consulted that standard again and again. And how to gauge like you're ready? Very clear criteria is mentioned by Tooba in that guide. That when first time you attempt your mock exam, if you're 60% or more than 60%, fine. When you attempt second time, you have marks 80% or more than 80%, then you are good to go for that exam. That is criteria mentioned in that guideline as well. So I would say if you're getting 80% plus marks, I think you are good to go for that exam. Further, I think Tuba can better advise.
No, that's fine. And as a best practice, I recommend at least reading of standard at least once during your journey. But just in case, because we deal with different type of professionals, and there are those professionals as well who just like genuinely don't have enough time for preparation, but they still want to do it in a proper way. So in that case, our material is more than enough to get you ready from every perspective, even if you are not going to read the book, because that is based on the standard and everything which PMI is looking forward to in the exam and in your professional career. So even if you are not going to read the book and you are referring our study plan and our material step by step, then definitely you are not missing anything. But at the same time, I also say that there is no replacement of reading PMI standards and books. PMI material is just more than superb. I am a big fan. And if I do any certification or I go for any credential, I always read that book or whichever reference material is there more than once. But that's my personal practice. Once during the journey is also good. Or at least the important part, for instance, case of PgMP life cycle, is very, very important. which is chapter 7 plus 8, including the activities. Benefits management is very important. Strategic management is very important. At least these chapters you should be reading. Maybe you can skip stakeholder engagement. Maybe you can skip governance. Although governance is also not that less important, but from the standard perspective, it can be skipped if you are covering it with the provided material. Okay, so the next question is very important, and I would like to personally respond on that. So Arslan is asking that standard 4th edition versus 5th edition, which has been launched on 11th of March. What's the major difference, and are there any changes in the exam pattern or questions? See, those people who are already connected with me for their PgMP or program management credential, and those who are already my student, they are connected with me, they know that I have told them plenty of times from 11th March till date that exam still has not been changed based on the changes in the 5th edition. I believe many people can vouch me on that, that I have told them multiple times. Of course, those who are not connected to me or in the student or in the professional capacity, for them, 5th edition is there in the market. However, there is no major change in the ECO, which is exam content outline, or the exam or the format of the exam. And many students of mine have written the exam already post 11th March, including Fareed, and they can watch that the material, which is still based on 4th edition, is still applicable, is still helpful for the exam, and can be used. And I have not made a single change in my material after the launch of 5th edition. That's the first thing. So far, there is no change. If there is going to be any change, I most likely am going to announce that formally on my channels, LinkedIn, etc., so that people get to know about it. And PMI, they themselves announce that very formally on their website and via their newsletters and emails and all. Second thing is that what's the difference between 4th edition and 5th edition? With respect to the reading, there is no harm, right? I have the 4th edition and the 5th edition available right in front of me. I'm reading that 5th edition these days. So 5th edition mainly talks about the program management principles. 4th edition mainly talks about the program management life cycle solely and covering the program management with respect to the life cycle only. So there is an addition of 8 principles on top of that, and they have added one more domain, performance domain, with the name of collaboration. Other than that, everything is same. Nothing has been changed. Actually, it's addition rather the changes. They have added some content in the 5th edition with respect to the 4th edition. But exam still is not referring to 5th edition. So if you are preparing for the exam, maybe do not confuse yourself with between 4th and 5th. Go for the 4th edition reading. But 5th edition reading, you can do that in your own interest and for learning. Hope that answers your question of Arsalan. So the next question again from Arsalan is, for PMP, we need to understand the process groups, input, output, tools and techniques, yes, and formulas, etc. For PgMP, what is the similar or difference with respect to the thought process if we compare both certifications? Fareed, do you want to talk about it?
Well, I can answer like specifically the formulas, these things. You're not supposed to go into the more details of these things. In the PgMP, very high level, the program level things, like you need to select a program based upon the return on investment, some net present value, and even you will be given these values in the paper, in the questions as well. So you will not be required to calculate maybe the estimate at completion or estimate to completion, maybe some the TCPI, these kind of things. You're not required to calculate these things in the paper for the PgMP. Whereas other differences, I think Tooba can better advise.
Yes. Just in general, the PMI mindset is not about memorization, or it's not about, what we call rectification in our culture, right? It's not about learning by heart. It's about understanding, absorbing, connecting different concepts, different mindsets together in a particular scenario. Exam is going to be totally scenario based. They are not going to test your memory even for a single question, right? So no, no ITTOs. You need to be knowing ITTOs, but you do not need to be keeping that in your mind with the expectation that they are going to ask that PWBS is the output of which process. No, this kind of questions, of course, are not. Otherwise, everybody would be doing that very easily. They are going to ask you, like in a very particular scenario, that how PWBS can be helpful in procurement, how the PWBS can be helpful in master schedule management, in scope changes, or in a variety of different practical scenarios, right? But until and unless you don't know that PWBS is the output of which process, where it is created, where it can be changed, where it can be used as input, where it can be one of the updates as output, how would you be in a position to answer that question? So it's not a direct question which is going to test your memory, but of course, until and unless you don't know that artifact itself, along with its utility, its application, its usefulness, you will not be able to answer that. And even PMP has been changed. Maybe you have written your PMP before 2021 change, Arsalan. Before 2021, things used to be very different in PMP, and now even the PMP mindset has been changed. Right? It's not memory based. If you compare both certifications, they are very different. Not with respect to the format of the exam, because program mindset is way comprehensive and difficult than the project management mindset. So they are going to test your strategic management mindset. They are going to test your governance management mindset. They are going to test how you calculate the performance of the program with respect to the projects. So multiple things are going to be tested, which is going to be way comprehensive and very granular, that most likely project management is not going to test at that level. So with respect to the concepts, it can be different, but the kind of the scenarios are going to be very similar. And the format also is not that different. Both are MCQ based, both have a particular timeline, both are center based. PgMP exam can be only center based, it can't be online. That's the only difference between PMP and PgMP. Okay, so Shamullah is saying that he joined late and he would like to know the step-by-step process of PgMP. And only one exam to clear? Yes, there is only one exam to clear. And post that, after every 3 years, you need to renew your certification with the 60 PDUs, which is professional development units. But there is no re-exam to renew your certification. No interview session. Everything is offline basis, via process, right? And if you want to know more about PgMP, maybe you connect with me over LinkedIn or over my business WhatsApp, and I will walk you through the whole PgMP journey or process, because in the interest of time, I need to be covering the other questions, right? Okay, Mohammed Malik is saying that is PMP a prerequisite to appearing in PgMP? We have talked about it. No, PMP is not a hardcore prerequisite. It can be utilized in place of your 4 years project management knowledge, but if you don't have PMP, and you have 4 years of project management knowledge, then that can be utilized. 4 years of project management and separately 4 years of program management knowledge. Right? If not, even though how much knowledge of PMP, how much knowledge from PMP coursework is needed for PgMP, we have talked about that. So you can refer to the recording later on, and you can listen to that. We have spent some time to speak about the relatedness and differences of PMP with the PgMP. Arslan again is asking that what happens if application gets rejected by panel review? Many things can happen. So if you guys want, I can speak about that. And if you want, Arslan, you can separately connect with me. I can tell you, because we are already overrunning the session 5 minutes, and maybe next 5 to 10 minutes are needed to answer the remaining questions. But just very briefly, if application gets rejected, then they give you 2 options: either to close it and get your money back, or they ask you to rectify and resubmit, and with that they give you only 1 chance, right? And most likely, if you resubmit, which most of the time people do, so they are going to give you a tough time with respect to the approval timeline, with respect to they may ask for multiple inquiries and so forth. So I know a couple of people in my professional circle, and they one of them got his application approved in 4 to 5 months because of the same reason. 4 to 5 months actually. He later became my PFMP student. He did his PgMP with some other trainer. So he told me that his PgMP application, because of the rejection from panel, got approved in 4 to 5 months time. And when he did his PFMP with me, his PFMP application panel was done in just 20 minutes of submission. So he was almost finted with respect to the experience he got in PgMP and in PFMP application services. So yes, things can be very troublesome for you if you get the panel rejected. PMP is not a prerequisite. Okay, Usman gave did the answer to the above question. Thank you so much, Usman. At what level we would be sure that we are well prepared and ready for the exam? It's a very subjective question. Of course, the mock exams, their scores, your mentor feedback. If your mentor himself or herself says that, based on, of course, a variety of factors, your contribution to the overall study plan, your scores, your knowledge, different discussions, and based on that, how well you are responding to different queries. So for my students, I always tell them that now you are ready to go for the exam, or from my side, you can book exam, right? And there are a couple of people who are already my students and they are in the participant section, and they will vouch me for that. So to one participant, I have been asking for the past 2 weeks that you should book your exam, and he is not booking. But I have given him a go ahead that you can book the exam. So of course, your mentor is the right person to tell you that you are ready, and you yourself will start feeling confident based on your learning, based on your mock scores, based on your answers. That will also give you a vibe that yes, I am ready for that, right? And if you keep on saying that no, until I'm going to get 100% marks, I am not going to book it. Until I'm not going to get above 95% mark, I'm not going to book it. Then probably over stretching the exam is as it can be as negative impacting your exam success as the lack of preparation would. So don't overstretch. If you are ready, maybe like just with a span of 2 to 3 weeks, book your exam and go for it. Because if you have exam anxiety, you think that no, maybe 10 more days, maybe 20 more days, then this is never going to happen. Trust me, this is never going to happen. You need to take that step. Okay, Faisal is asking that what's the best career stage for a professional to choose PgMP? Of course, if you are already working at that level, or if you want to work at that level and you think that you want to get ready for that ahead of time, or minimum you have 8 years of experience with more or less 4 years in project management and 4 years in program management, then you are ready for that. Of course, if somebody thinks that they are only 4 years experience, 3 years experience, and they want to go for this skill set, then they probably would be struggling with that because they have not really invested themselves as a professional in that in that way of working so far. So probably wait for 7 to 8 years ideally, and then go for that. 7 to 8 years with the relevant experience, of course, not in any experience. So Usman is again making a comment that I think that's the answer to some of the previous questions. Okay, then do we have other questions? How to dodge tricky questions where it seems 2 options are correct? It seems like somebody is preparing for PgMP already. Fareed, this is your question.
Well, I don't remember that like we should remove one by one the answers. We call it some approach like this cannot be the right answer, this cannot be the right answer. Like at the end, we remain like we left with only one options. So I think that is one approach, because sometimes we feel that all four options are the right options. So then we need to select the one best answers. So definitely, I exactly don't remember the name of that approach, by the way, but that approach can
Elimination technique.
elimination kind of approach can be used. And of course, better understanding of the mock exams, the books, the knowledge, all these things will help you to select a right option. And by the way, sometime maybe from my experience, option B is correct. And maybe from Tooba experience, option C is correct. So there can be conflict. So, but from exam perspective, we definitely need to select a right answer.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, one thing that I would like to add on top of it is this is very easy for a respective question to eliminate two choices out of four. But the real deal begins when you need to choose the right answer between the remaining two options. And this is exactly where your preparation, your knowledge of PMI, ways of working, PMI ethics and professional conduct, PMI way of executing a program, the integration concept, the benefits concept, the closure concepts, all of that you need to be knowing. Otherwise, you probably would be answering based on your experience, current experience or previous experience, which may or may not be correct, because not every organization follows the best practices as it is, right? So maybe you are just answering based on what you know from your limited experience in the organization, but the standards are not based on some limited mindset or some limited uh, way of approaching things. Standards are created by hundreds and thousands of professionals around the globe based on multiple things that have been happening in the program management in different regions and different companies and different countries, right? So this is exactly where knowledge of the best practice versus what you do or you have been doing comes into picture. And this is exactly where your preparation and your knowledge of the PMI mindset comes into picture. So this is what the trick is. Are you still in that very limited knowledge of what you already know, or are you ready to broaden your horizon of knowledge by knowing more and more that the other regions, the other industries, and the other organizations are doing? So practice is the key, I would say. Then I believe how many questions needs to be answered correctly to achieve a passing score? So for those who want to know this, passing score is unknown. PMI never discloses the passing score. They only tell you the level. So there are 4 levels: needs improvement, below target, target, and above target, right? You need to be overall on the target or above target to pass the exam. Right? If you are overall below target and or at the needs improvement level, then you are going to lose the exam, right? So those who say that 65% is going to pass you, 70% is going to pass you, no, PMI has never said that. If they had ever said that, it would be there in the handbook or on their website or anywhere. So no, they never disclose the passing percentage. Behind the picture, of course, there is going to be some algorithm which calculates your performance based on some aspects, but that aspect is not that straightforward, linear manner that 70 out of 100 out of 170 question is passed and you are passed. No, they have weightages associated with every question, with every domain, and with that probably they have come up with some complex formula, and based on that you need to clear the exam. But nobody knows that. It's not disclosed. But only we know is target or above target is going to pass. By the way, every question is worth 1 point. There is no negative marking in the exam. And those who say that you are going to get difficult questions if you keep on answering the questions right, this doesn't happen. The exam completely is downloaded. once, and the questions are just shuffled within that downloaded exam. Hope that answers. So is there anyone else who want to ask anything before we wrap up the session? Anything that anyone would like to ask? Okay, we are 15 minutes overrunning the session. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us and making this conversation very interesting. Thank you, Fareed, for joining and for sharing useful insights and helping people in their query. I am wrapping up the session today. Inshallah, I will be coming very soon with some other success story and lessons learned webinar. Till then, take care and good night and Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.